Good morning everybody. I'm Steve Reinharz, the Chief Executive Officer of Artificial Intelligence Technology Solutions. Everybody, it's Friday morning. I am in my hotel in Waterloo recording the weekly video in order to get back to the office there and have a great day with our engineers and developers. And today's weekly video is going to be fun for all of us because it, by your request through Twitter, is me describing the road to NASDAQ that I see. And the information that I'm sharing here today is largely what I've laid out from our November 3rd event, 2023, when we had that event in Detroit, our annual kind of shareholders presentation conference. So I'm just kind of putting it in different words. I'm using a couple outside examples. But I encourage you, hey, we're still following along largely that plan that we laid out on November 23rd. That video is still available online. Check it out. We're just following those steps. Thank goodness. So I think it's important that we match what we said we were going to do to the plan when we said we did, and we are. Okay. Now, I will remind everybody to read the disclosures related to high risk. I encourage accredited and non-accredited investors to check with their investment professionals. What I'm about to say is in no way a solicitation of investment or a guarantee that this will happen. Very few companies achieve this. And one of my favorite companies that have achieved this and gone on to great success is Monster Beverages. And I was lucky enough that one of the guys on one of my hockey teams about 20 years ago was buddies with the CEO that brought the company from, you know, OTC kind of spin into NASDAQ and beyond. And they sponsored, we got him to sponsor our hockey team for a bunch of years there. So we got these really cool Monster jerseys. Anyway, kind of fun stuff. So it is possible, it is rare. And it's even rarer to do it, in my opinion, the right way. And in my opinion, the right way means putting retail investors in the best possible position to gain from the uplist. I've mentioned this before, and people might not exactly understand what I mean when I said that. And the CEO of OTC Markets wrote a really great article about this. And he said that and I'm kind of summarizing it. I think he used some examples. But what he said was, he said sometimes emerging tech companies in the OTC run out of runway. They're not successful at attracting a community, so to speak, and they need money. And so Wall Street will come along and Wall Street will give them a whack of cash in exchange for uplisting. The price they pay, though, is they pay giving a lot of free warrants away on the uplist. So by the time they do get uplisted, the major holders have a cost basis so low, and if the company's unprofitable, then it behooves many investors at that level to sell the shares, which puts downward pressure on the shares in general and creates a negative return for folks that have held. That worries me. That's something that's on my mind, and that's something that I want to avoid. And the way that we avoid that, okay, not to say that we have any guarantee that we'll get to NASDAQ or that the stock will go up or down or trade at all if we do get that far. But one of the key things to do to close off avenues of decline, because remember, you could be shorted by most anybody on NASDAQ. You know, it's extremely difficult to short on the OTC if you're a retail investor, even if you're an accredited investor. But it's easy on NASDAQ, so you gotta come onto NASDAQ with strength. And this is what I've said. This has been our absolute party line that hasn't changed and won't change. And that is quite simply profits and better balance sheet. So per that article from the CEO of OTC, he's basically saying, hey, it's the bankers that win. It's Wall Street that wins in a lot of these uplists, and it's retail that frequently loses. Okay. I get that. How do we avoid that? Well, we avoid that if we get to that point, if we hit a revenue number that I have in mind, where I think we'll get a great valuation and be able to uplist in the right way. We do that by not taking money on the uplist, in that uplist cycle, and we do it just by moving up ourselves. This is why profits and balance sheet are so important to us to do it right. It technically doesn't take us much to move there if I did a couple things with the stock here and there, but I don't want to do that. I want to stay on the OTC. I want us to continue to have good times on the OTC. It just could mean that it could take a few years for the stock to recover. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to continue to build this community throughout the OTC and beyond with, obviously our cool robots, great success stories, Rad Light My Way, RadCam, our mobility devices when they come out. Continue to build this community so that we have significant momentum coming online and hopefully mainstream media coverage. Because what happens on NASDAQ, why we want to do NASDAQ is because of a few reasons, okay? And the first one is liquidity. Amazon trades 5 times more than the entire OTC, PINX, QX, and QB a day. So just to put it in the magnitude of, hey, OTC is not big. It's not big. It's a small market. If we have more liquidity, it gives the stock a chance to appreciate. Furthermore, on NASDAQ, if, we come on with the right financials and growth and all this, then we get usually selected to be in indexes. It's nothing that we really choose to be in, like just there'll be like a security company index. We might get in there. It might be a robotics index. We get in there. An AI index. We might get in there. So a variety of different indexes where, different investors say, hey, we're creating an index because we believe in this niche. So in order to ride the wave of this niche, we've identified 50, 100, 500 companies in this niche, and we're going to invest in them to various weights and various degrees because we know there's going to be winners coming out of this niche, and we want to ride this niche. We want to be included in as many of those indexes and niches as we can, because again, it goes to liquidity. Liquidity often equals increase in price when it's backed up by sound fundamentals and long-term potential. So really, quite simply, again, sales, improved balance sheet, boom, that's it. I have a number in mind when I'm ready to start that NASDAQ process. As we get 50%, as we get 50% closer to it, I'll announce that number, most likely, because I want everybody to know what the path is. So I'll announce that number, and we'll be able to look at the balance sheet. We'll be able to say, hey, is what Steve said in the weekly video of May 18th, 2024, do we have those pieces? Sales, better balance sheet, growth. And that's what we need. So that's really what I look at, what I try to drive it. Now, can we do it? I don't care what anybody says. Only time will tell. Okay? It's as simple as that. Investors are going to speculate, fans are going to speculate, whatever it is. There are too many twists, turns, obstacles, wins, losses along the way for anybody to have a crystal ball and say, are we going to make it? Now, we do have a record of surviving 8 years and even thriving. And those who are in other OTC stocks, you'll see that, recently a big handful, a couple handfuls of OTC stocks that some of you may be in kind of, are hitting the reset button because whatever venture they had in those stocks didn't work out. Business is hard. From our perspective, hey, I'm smiling. Our team is smiling. 97 incredible full-time equivalent employees. I just had dinner last night with a bunch of our Canadians. I brought up one American, and we had 6 Canadians at dinner as well, and just the vibe and the spirit and the attitude and the commitment and the sacrifice. These are an important component to companies that do win and do this right. And that's what I want to do. I want us to be an incredible part of the 4th Industrial Revolution, and I want us to be a really cool success story for investors. Okay, so that's Road to NASDAQ. I boiled it down to make it pretty simple, talked about some of the pitfalls. I will share also that I was at the Rex yesterday, Thursday, the 16th, and I took some cool videos. So check this out. Video's gonna roll, and hey guys, thank you so much. Remember, Like, share, subscribe, do all those things. They really, really, really help. Thank you very much, everybody.